Sagan v Kwiatkowski, and now we have Sagan versus Greg van Avermaet. So Tirreno Adriatico, Stage 6, 2016. I apologise in advance, I can't get all the footage. I couldn't choose Paris-Roubaix, I couldn't choose some other ones, but these are the best I can find. There are some good races here, some good World Championships and some other races. So here we have Michał Kwiatkowski, Greg van Avermaet, Quick-Step rider who I believe is Zdeněk Stybar, and Greg van Avermaet, Sagan, Stybar, and Kwiatkowski. So anyway, you can see Kwiatkowski's on the front. They had a little bit of a breakaway. At the moment, I think Stybar's in the blue jersey, so he's leading it overall. But you can see they're up the road. They can't mess around too much, but at the same time, they don't really want to leading anyone out. Kwiatkowski's doing way too much work here. He's going to get done. But Sagan goes way too early, like 250 meters to go easily. And Greg van Avermaet's just on his wheel. And it's just like, you can see Sagan, if the sprint was here, he would have won. The sprint was here, he would have gone. And the last 50 meters, he went 50 meters too early. He's just absolutely gassed. And Greg van Avermaet just pips him at the line. You can see at the end, they were both really, really tired. But I think often Greg van Avermaet has the edge when Sagan just ends up going too early. But otherwise, it's tough. So you can see here again, I'm not hitting Nice about 2017. Quite a big crash there. But we skip ahead to the Tyenberg, that's it. Jasper Stuyven on the front, Greg van Avermaet second wheel. Sagan, you can see, is way back down. You can see Luke Rose trying to get across, and Sagan's there. He's looking pretty chilled out, to be honest. He's in his full leg warmers and arm warmers. No, leg warmers and full jersey done, like long sleeve jersey. But you can see Greg van Avermaet is super keen to this break. He's looking not hurting, but not too much. And I think he saves quite a lot of energy here compared to Sagan, because Sagan's got to come a long way back. See, that's a good 20 metres or so back that Sagan has to close. While these guys at the front, Toons, what's his name, Sepp van Marke, Greg van Avermaet, Edward Toons, I wouldn't mention him, and Stuyven. So you can see again, around these corners, this is where Sagan definitely does have the edge on Greg van Avermaet, just by handling. You can see he's coming along here, and he makes up a lot of time and saves a lot of energy by just taking these corners a little bit faster than everyone else and really just railing them. But Greg van Avermaet is in great position there and probably did end up saving quite a lot of energy by doing that. You can see Sagan's at the back, he's now on the back, and you can see the absolute carnage that is behind on the time bar. When a rider absolutely gasses it on the front, everyone else is just dead. Like look at the time gaps already put in one climb, which probably only lasts about a minute and a half to 2 minutes. It's just crazy how strong these guys are. And Sagan did well. These guys are all chasing, they're not really going to get back on. The decisive split has been made. So then we skip ahead, I can't get my words out today, to the Eichenberg. And again, you can see it's the break. They caught some of the other guys. Some of the guys from behind have caught up. Ollie Nason's there. Got a lot of Jumbo rider there. Sepp van Marke's there. Luke Rose there. Sagan's there. And Sagan, again, you're like, what's he doing? He sort of just seems to often, in the Spring Classics, just showcase he's stronger than everyone else. So look, he's sort of like on the wheel, but not really doing anything else. But Greg van Avermaet's just at the back, making sure no one's going too crazy, making sure there's no attacks. He can watch everything. He's trying to save some energy. Well, Sagan just often seems to get to the front and just get a bit too excited and not really know what's going on. So you can see again, this one is interesting to see. You can try and judge who looks more fresh, who doesn't look fresh. It's hard to tell, but I think most of these guys at the moment are looking pretty similar. Greg van Avermaet and Sagan both look pretty chilled out. The thing is that's always hard to tell from the TV is like how hard they're pulling, because obviously you can tell roughly like the length of the time, but you can't tell the exact wattage because you can't see the speed difference. Even the speed difference you could tell, but you can't even tell that. So you sort of just have to go roughly on how they're looking, or like what sort of turns they're pulling, and just trying to guess on that and how fresh they look. Because in reality, these Spring Classics, Sagan is the fastest sprinter. In a fresh sprint, Sagan would beat Greg van Avermaet, but he's a slightly heavier rider, so on the climbs he might have to put more effort in, and also their endurance is one thing that's often neglected in cycling, but obviously in classics it's so important. So it's really, really important to look at these riders and figure out which one is going to be more fresh for the very finale. So you can see here we've just got some more riders at the back. You can see Greg van Avermaet's having to put a bit of work here because he was further back in positioning, but both of them look pretty chilled, looking around, just seeing who's who and where everyone is, how fresh everyone's looking. There's a good direct energy guy in there. Can't remember who it is, but he had a good ride, because this is a really elite break, to be honest. Only really the strongest classics riders are here. Ollie Nason's on the front, absolutely driving it. He's a real world-class bike rider, Ollie Nason. But Sagan is, he's looking confident. And we'll see the railing of the corners here again. Sagan definitely puts a little bit of time into Van Avermaet around that corner, but not too much. But Van Avermaet does look... This year he definitely looked a lot stronger at the very end of the races. He looked like he'd improved his endurance, definitely. So then we skip ahead to the final kilometre. So here we go. We got Sagan, we got Sepp Van Marke, and we got Greg Van Avermaet. And I feel like in these situations, often Sagan, on a small bunch sprint, he just ends up getting dumped on the front and then pipped at the end. It happened in E3 Hauerbacher with Kwiatkowski. It happened, well, pretty much here as well. It happens at a lot of these races where he just gets done. So he's on the front here and he's looking around and he's not in a bad position now. It's hard to tell where the wind's coming from, but he's got them boxed on one side by the barriers, so they can only pass him on the one side. And the thing is, he goes a little early here. So Sepp Van Marke goes round completely the wrong way. Look what Sagan does. Sagan goes to the left, trying to follow Sepp Van Marke, but he shouldn't have done. He should have gone the inside line, which Greg Van Avermaet did, and just hold his wheel there. Because look, he's got that final kick. The final kick wasn't there. Like, you can see he has decent power on that one. But I think even then, Greg Van Avermaet looks super strong there. He went the right side. He launched at the right time. And Sagan, I feel like sometimes just gets launched on the front too much. But this is GP Quebec 2017, an old classic. I do enjoy this race. Okay, it might be in Canada and be a bit annoying, but it has a real good parkour. I quite enjoy watching it. So you can see Rigoberto Urán on the front, absolutely driving it. Sven Tufts is trying to chase him down. You can see Sagan there. Greg Van Avermaet's just ahead of him. In the about six wheel, I'd say. You can see some of the other sprinters are just behind him. Michael Matthews, I believe, is there. You can see Bonifacio, I believe that is. You can see some other sort of people, but no one's really... The main thing is this. Sagan just moved up on the right-hand side and just put ahead of Greg Van Avermaet. And then you can see here, watch, this is the most important thing. Sagan's on the right-hand side, so just keep looking on the right-hand side, and you'll see he does 3 pedal spurts at 125 meters. Look at that distance he put in straight away. And Greg Van Avermaet just doesn't have that initial accelerations often that Sagan does. And Sagan in a sprint like that, there's just no one's going to stop him when he's relatively fresh, because he has those 3 or 4 pedal strokes and Van Avermaet's just gone, and he's not going to come around him like that. The main time that Van Avermaet does better than Sagan is when it's a slow speed sprint, because I don't know, I guess maybe his acceleration is better, but it just seems like on those sort of faster sprints, Sagan can just put in that power for the first 3 pedal strokes and really just distance Van Avermaet. And also on the slightly more uphill sprints, I think it favours Sagan more. So you can see here again is the World Road Race Championship, which was a very interesting race. So I believe that's Philippe Gilbert and Greg Van Avermaet in the move now. Philippe Gilbert at the back, Greg Van Avermaet there. So they're following Julien Alaphilippe and some of the other guys who are really trying to hit it. And Sagan is just chilling back. Sagan was like, a lot of people said he barely made it over the climb. You can barely see him in these TV shots just because he's so far back. But everyone else was attacking at the front. Alaphilippe knew he had to go here. There was no way he was going to get away. And you can see Philippe Gilbert is chasing, but Greg Van Avermaet basically realised Gilbert's on it. I'm just going to relax and chill. So in reality here, Van Avermaet I think knows he's not going to win the bunch sprint, so he doesn't need to do something. But instead he ends up just messing up here and not really doing anything. And then you can see some Dutch riders, there's Jenny Moscow and some other guys. So we skip ahead now to the helicopter shots because we basically, the TV end up messing up on this. And they didn't have any of the shots from the camera motorbikes because the helicopter, the plane went down. So we'll just have the last 4K of the helicopters, which is really interesting to see. So Moscon and Alaphilippe were in the front. They then basically got distance. And you can see the Italians are now here trying to basically get Alaphilippe back, and there's a Danish rider on the front as well. I'm not sure exactly who it is, and you can see Ben Swift's there for the UK. Michael Matthews is there. Oh, what's his name? Christoph is there. There's another Danish rider that I believe that's the Joker himself from Orica Scott. What's his face? I can't remember his name. Sorry, I'm so bad at remembering people's names. But anyway, you can see it's basically like there aren't many strong teams here, but there are a couple. So you can see a couple Belgians. There's a French guy there. We can still scroll back, and I think that's Sagan in that blue and white jersey just there, but I'm not 100% sure. You can see Gaviria, I think, is on his wheel as well for Colombia. There's a Dutch rider on the back. But you can see Ben Swift goes now. Oh yeah, here we go. There's Sagan and Gaviria, who both follow straight away, and I believe that's a Kazakhstani rider who's with them as well. So Sagan was pretty lively to these attacks, and looks pretty strong on this one. I think he does like to try and do solo breakaways. instead of necessarily sprinting, especially at the end of these long races, because I feel like he knows that you can often get out sprinted on these bunches. So like remember Tour of Flanders, obviously when he won that was solid solo breakaway by him, and basically just dropped everyone. So I think he was definitely looking for it, but obviously he's not going to bring Gaviria with him, because Gaviria is a very, very fast sprinter, and a lot faster than Sagan really in a pure sprint. So you can see again, it's a bit, this part of the race is really chaotic and not very, well, because there's just no teams. So Sagan doesn't have a team, but luckily he can sort of rely on there's just enough riders so that no one's looking around trying to look for Sagan to do any work. It's the same with Van Avermaet. Both of them have enough, like, not teammates, but people who are willing to want the same outcome as him to get the bunch sprint ready. So there's a lot of attacks off the front, and I think in this situation Sagan's really good at just staying cool, realizing that he can't close everything down. People are going to close things down, because I think that's Gilbert on the front. So Van Avermaet does have the advantage here that Gilbert is his teammate, and he can follow some of the moves, while Van Avermaet can sort of chill in. But I'm not really sure what Van Avermaet's tactic was here, because he's not really going to win this sprint, so he needs to go on the attack. But Sagan is just so strong at these parts. He just really, like, it's just more like his confidence in himself about winning the sprint. Like, he won't, like, try and get to the front or anything unless it's really useful. He'll just chill out, not do much, just follow the main moves. I think that's something Van Avermaet might have to learn a bit more, is just to try and play these races a bit more to his own strength. Because I feel like sometimes he sort of gets missing in some of these races, just because he's a bit like, doesn't know what to do, if to attack or to do whatever. Because this course, he could have won if he'd gone away with some of the other stronger riders, like Alaphilippe maybe. But then he's also, because he climbs so well, I mean, you think about the Olympics, that was an incredible race which he won. So I think, yeah, he's a very versatile rider, Van Avermaet. And because he's also won Paris-Roubaix, which is normally like a strong man, like 80 kilo, 85 kilo rider race, because it's so flat. But anyway, we're coming towards the end of this World Road Race Championship, which was a great race. Really did enjoy watching it. So you can see now the Joker is off the front. He's off the front for Orica Scott and Denmark, and he is flying along. Italy's now trying to start a lead out. Now just watch Sagan and watch Van Avermaet's positioning. Sagan basically picks Christoph and just holds his wheel. They end up going through the corner about fourth wheel, and then Van Avermaet is just a bit further down, not really in an ideal position. And he really should have just stalked Sagan on this and just been like, right, that's the guy's wheel I'm going to take. And just seen if he could outsprint him, or just go for like a last, like when this was brought back, maybe just go super early. But anyway, you can see, we now zoom to the stationary cameras, and you can see Sagan's just on the wheel there. There's a couple Belgian blokes there, like Gilbert's towards the back, knows he's not going to win this sprint because it's pretty much a flat sprint. So rounding the corner, you can see Italy are trying to lead out. Sagan's on the left-hand side. You can see some Belgian blokes, but like now Van Avermaet is right behind Sagan in the middle of the field. You can see that drifting. He's just behind the Czech Republic rider, and when they go around this corner, there's one more corner to go, and then that is the final. You can see the Swiss rider Michael Albertini. You can see again Greg Van Avermaet is now on Michael Matthews' wheel on the right hand side and the inside. Sagan's got Christoph's wheel. He waits for Christoph to launch. Christoph absolutely launches it, and it's like touch and go if he's going to come around. And Sagan finally does at the end, while Van Avermaet's just sort of in a Ben Swift sandwich and just miles back and just can't get around. He had the power maybe, but Van Avermaet, but he had poor positioning in the final. I think his bunch sprints could definitely improve a lot. Sagan, though, keeps it cool, wins it. Who do you think's the better rider? I think it's Sagan. He's won a lot of different races, and he's just, I don't know, there's something about him. He can win bunch sprints, he can win world championships. He maybe can't win climbing races, but apart from that, he's incredible. So cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next vid.